Irzuli Danto, the scarred mother, the fire, the protector. There is a goddess who does not smile softly. There is a goddess who does not ask for admiration. She stands scarred. She stands armed. She stands holding a child in one arm and a blade in the other. This is Irzuli Danto. She's not delicate romance. She is not silk and perfume. She is love forged in violence. She is the petrol fire of Haitian voodoo. And where she lives in cosmology. Now, in Haitian voodoo, there is a distant creator, Bondi. Bondi does not interfere directly in daily life. Instead, humans interact with Iwe, the spirits. The Iwe are not gods in the Western Greek Olympian sense. These are forces, personalities, ancestral intelligences, archetypal energies. And among the Iwe, there are two major energetic currents. Rada, which is cool, ancestral, and stabilizing, and Petro, which is hot, reactive, revolutionary. Irzuli Danto belongs to the Petro current. Petro is fire. Petro is gunpowder. Petro is a spirit that rises when oppression becomes unbearable. Petro Iwe are not calm river spirits. They are storm systems. Danto is one of the most fierce among them. And she is not Irzuli Frida, and this is a critical point. There is another Irzuli, and that is Irzuli Frida. Now, Frida is luxury. Frida wears lace. Frida longs for romance, for perfume, for admiration. Frida is the dream of European refinement layered over Afro-Caribbean devotion. But Danto is different. Danto is the dark-skinned sister. She is scarred. She is often depicted holding a knife. She is associated with working-class women, market women, and single mothers. Whereas Frida wants to be adored, Danto demands loyalty. Frida weeps when love fails. Danto remembers who betrayed her. The split between them is not just theological. It is representative of class, it is representative of skin tone, and it reflects a colonial history. Two faces of the feminine under oppression, one aspiring to be treasured, one refusing to be destroyed. The scar. One of Danto's defining features is the scar on her face. And this imagery is not random. She is often synchronized with Madonna of the Sheik Ta Chow, a Catholic icon whose face visibly bears scars. So when enslaved Africans were forced into Catholic structures, they encoded their spirits within the same imagery. Spiritual camouflage, as it were, or survival theology. The Black Madonna, dark-skinned, scarred, maternal, became a vessel through which Danto could remain present. But the scars matter symbolically. A scar is healed trauma. A scar is injury survived. A scar says, I was cut, I did not die. Danto is not the untouched maiden. She is the wounded mother who survived. And that difference changes everything. Now, she is truly a mother archetype. She is fiercely maternal. She's associated with motherhood, especially protective motherhood. Not sentimental motherhood, protective. The kind that will fight, the kind that will kill, the kind that will burn down a system before allowing harm to her child. In many depictions, she holds a child against her chest, and that child represents the vulnerable, the future, the oppressed, or the community at large. She is evoked by women who have been betrayed, women who have been abused, women who have been abandoned, single mothers who had to become both nurturer and warrior. She is not the goddess of romantic fantasy, she is the goddess of survival. Revolutionary fire. There are strong traditions linking Petro spirit to the Haitian revolutions. The ceremony of Bois Cayman often mytholized an ignition point of the revolution, including invoking fierce spirits. Petro Iwe were the spirits of that uprising. Whether Danto was explicitly invoked or later associated, mythically she represents revolutionary fire itself. She embodies the moment when endurance becomes resistance. She is the spirit that says enough, not politely, not diplomatically, but definitively. And that is why she is feared. Petro energy is not comfortable energy. It is transformative through destruction. Jealousy reconsidered. Now, Danto is often described as being jealous, but jealousy in this context is misunderstood. This is not petty insecurity, this is protective possessiveness. This is the jealousy of someone who has already lost everything once, the jealousy of someone who will not allow betrayal again. In this way, we compare her to Hera, the jealous wife, or Sekhmet, wrath unleashed for cosmic balance, or even Kali, destructive mother clearing corruption. Danto sits in the lineage of fierce feminine archetypes, but her rage is grounded in historical trauma. It is not abstract cosmic balance, it is lived memory, and this makes her psychologically very powerful. Now, in the diaspora, she has a specific identity. She represents more than theology. She represents Afro-diasporic survival. Voodoo itself is a system born from forced displacement, slavery, and cultural fusion. Within that system, Danto embodies the mother who endured plantation brutality, the woman who carried lineage forward under violence, the refusal to dissolve into erasure. She is sacred anger made legitimate. And this is deeply uncomfortable for colonial narratives, because sacred anger cannot be dismissed as hysteria. It is spiritualized resistance. Now, Petro versus control. Now, Petro energy emerges under pressure, when systems become suffocating, when injustice calcifies. Petro spirits are reactionary in the truest sense. They react to oppression. In that sense, Danto fits perfectly in larger mythic themes of freedom versus control. She is what happens when control goes too far. She is the spiritual eruption. You can suppress Rada energy. You cannot indefinitely suppress Petro. Eventually, it ignites. Why she matters now. Modern relevance is obvious. She doesn't need to be forced. Single mothers navigating hostile systems, women navigating betrayal, communities navigating institutional neglect. Danto becomes an archetype for protective boundaries, unapologetic defense, refusal to accept disrespect. She does not preach forgiveness as virtue, she demands accountability. And in a world that often romanticizes passive femininity, she stands as a counter image. Scarred, armed, loving, dangerous. If Frida is the dream of being chosen, Danto is the vow never to be abandoned again. If Frida is perfume, Danto is gunfire. If Frida longs, Danto remembers. She is not the goddess of romance. She is the goddess of loyalty. She is the fire that protects children. She is the scar that speaks. She is Irzuli Danto. Helen, whose beauty spoke before she did. They said Helen was beautiful, not in the way flowers are beautiful, or gold, or light upon water. Her beauty was described as unsettling. Poets struggled with it. They reached for comparisons and found them thin. Dawn was too gentle. Ivory was too lifeless. The moon too distant. Helen's beauty did not decorate the world. It disturbed it. To look upon her was to feel awareness sharpening, as if the mind itself leaned forward, trying to understand why the moment suddenly mattered more. Her face was symmetrical, they said, but symmetry alone does not undo reason. Her presence was radiant, but radiance alone does not unmake loyalty. What Helen carried was not beauty as ornament, but beauty as pressure. It pressed upon the thoughts of those who saw her, revealing long-buried fractures. Desire rose, yes, but so did envy, and longing, and ambition wearing the mask of love. Men claimed they loved her, but what they loved was a version of themselves they imagined standing beside her. Helen knew how she was seen. She learned early that her beauty arrived in a room before her voice, that eyes decided things long before words were spoken. So she learned stillness, because movement invited interpretation. She learned restraint, because even silence was rarely granted to her. And yet, she did not diminish herself. She wore her beauty the way the sea wears depth, without apology, without explanation. Where she walked, attention followed. Where attention gathered, order loosened. Promises grew fragile. Old certainties began to feel optional. Helen did not seduce, she exposed. Her beauty did not command men to act. It asked a quieter question. Who are you when no one is forcing you? The gods watched her with familiarity. They recognized the pattern. Beauty like hers was not a gift. It was a threshold. To cross it required wisdom. Few possessed any. As years passed, her name hardened into shorthand, a symbol stripped of breath and memory. Her beauty was blamed as though beauty itself were a crime, rather than a mirror held too close. But the truth remained, patient and unchanged. Helen's beauty did not ruin the world. It revealed how easily the world ruins itself when faced with something it cannot own. She was never a prize. She was never a temptation. She was a measure. And what failed was not restraint alone, but understanding.
Kemetic Gods Encyclopedia, Core Netgeru Block 5, Entries 201, 250. Sekka. Sekka is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is the underworld, and he is also associated with rebirth. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Sekka. He governs transformation after death. Sekhet. Sekhet is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is fields, and she is also associated with agriculture. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Sekhet. She represents cultivated land. Selkit. Selkit is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is healing, and she is also associated with scorpions. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Sailket. She protects against venom. September. Sep is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is fertility, and he is also associated with movement. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced September. He embodies generative motion. Serket. Serket is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is protection, and she is also associated with medicine. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Serket. She safeguards against harm. Seth. Seth is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is chaos, and he is also associated with storms. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Seth. He represents disruptive force. Seatenan. Seatenan is a syncretic Kemetic deity. Its primary domain is perception, and it is also associated with creation. It originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Its name is pronounced Seatenan. It unites awareness and emergence. Sopdu. Sopdu is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is the eastern frontier, and he is also associated with protection. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Sopdu. He guards Egypt's borders. Sotis. Sotis is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is the star Sirius, and she is also associated with renewal. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Sothis. She marks the new year. Tazanetnofret. Tazanetnofret is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is beauty, and she is also associated with adornment. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Tarsenet-Nofret. She embodies graceful appearance. Tatjinan. Tatjinan is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is the primordial mound, and he is also associated with creation. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Tat-Jenen. He represents emergence of land. Tate. Tate is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is weaving, and she is also associated with textiles. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Chit. She governs cloth and binding. Tekit. Tekit is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is brewing, and she is also associated with nourishment. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Tekechiti. She oversees fermentation. Tenon. Tenon is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is the primordial earth, and he is also associated with strength. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Tainen. He represents foundational power. Tepsi. Tepsi is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is speech, and he is also associated with proclamation. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Tepsi. He embodies spoken authority. Tutu. Tutu is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is protection, and he is also associated with demons. He originates from Kemet in the late period. His name is pronounced Tutu. He wards against night spirits. Utur. Utur is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is the sea, and he is also associated with vastness. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Wot or. He represents the great waters. Unas. Unas is a deified Kemetic king. His primary domain is kingship, and he is also associated with the afterlife. He originates from Kemet in the Old Kingdom. His name is pronounced Onaz. He represents royal ascent. Upuort. Upuort is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is guidance, and he is also associated with warfare. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Opu-Aht. He opens pathways. Wadjewer. Wadjewer is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is the sea, and he is also associated with water. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Wadjewer. He embodies the Great Green. Wenit. Wenit is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is time, and she is also associated with cycles. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Waynet. She governs temporal flow. Werethikau. Werethikau is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is magic, and she is also associated with sovereignty. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Weirethikau. She wields royal power. Wazret. Wazret is a Kemetic goddess. Her primary domain is authority, and she is also associated with Thebes. She originates from Kemet in the ancient era. Her name is pronounced Wozret. She personifies regional power. Yinepu. Yinepu is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is embalming, and he is also associated with the dead. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Yinepu. He oversees funerary rites. Zor. Zor is a Kemetic god. His primary domain is writing, and he is also associated with knowledge. He originates from Kemet in the ancient era. His name is pronounced Zo. He supports recorded wisdom. Come back for part 6.
Njord, Lord of the Quiet Sea. Not a god of thunder, not a god of war, not a god of apocalypse. Njord is a god you feel before you see. He arrives with the wind, not violent wind, the kind that fills sails, the kind that turns a stranded ship into motion, the kind that whispers, go. Njord is a god of the sea, but not the raging sea. He governs the open waters that allow passage. He governs trade routes, safe return, maritime wealth. He is the breath inside the Viking world. Without wind, there is no raids. Without ships, there is no empire. Without safe harbor, there is no survival. Nord is not conquest, he is circulation. He belongs to the Vanir, the older gods of fertility and abundance. Before the warrior gods dominated Norse myth, the Vanir ruled cycles, growth, prosperity. When Aesir and Vanir went to war, the conflict did not end in annihilation. It ended in exchange. Njord was sent to live among the Aesir as a peace hostage. Let's think about this. The god of wealth and wind becomes the bridge between divine families. He was not conquered, he was integrated. And from that moment forward, even the war gods depended on him. Njord is also father of two of the most powerful deities in Norse cosmology, Freyr and Freya. Freyr governs harvest, kingship, and peace. Freya governs love, desire, magic, and even claims half of the honored dead. Njord is the root of the prosperity line. He is the quiet patriarch and the fertility power. He is the most human story in his marriage. Njord marries Skandi, the goddess of winter. She loves the mountains. He loves the sea. They try to compromise. 9 nights by the ocean, 9 nights in the mountains. In the mountains, Njord cannot sleep. The wolves howl. The air is too sharp. But by the sea, Skandi cannot rest. The gulls scream. The waves never stop moving. They part ways, not from hatred, but from elemental incompatibility. Sea and stone, tide and frost. Njord is movement. Skandi is stillness, and stillness cannot hold the tide. Symbolically, Njord represents something rare in Norse mythology. Stability without stagnation, prosperity without plunder, movement without chaos. He is not the storm, he is the space between storms. He is a god of flow, and flow is power. And he stands at the edge of Njord at sunrise. Long ships behind him, salt winds lifting silver hair. No lightning, no roar, just tide moving in and out. Njord does not command the sea, he understands it. And in that world obsessed with battle, the quiet sea outlasts the storm. Odin and the eye that would not look away. Now, before the end of all things had a name, before the gods spoke openly about Ragnarok, there was an unease that followed Odin like a shadow. Not fear. Fear implies ignorance. This was something much worse. This was suspicion. Now, Odin ruled as king of the Aesir, seated high in Asgard on the throne, surrounded by warriors, by gods, and by poets who praised his name. But praise rang hollow to him, because Odin knew a truth few dared to admit. A throne does not grant understanding. Power does not grant clarity, and gods, like men, can rule blindly. At night, when the halls grew quiet, Odin would sit in his throne. Hugin and Munin, thought and memories. His crows would return from their flights. They would perch on his shoulders and whisper what they had seen in the 9 realms. Wars brewing, oaths breaking, fates tightening like knots, and each whisper confirmed what Odin already suspected, that something was coming, and worse, that it was already in motion. So Odin turned his attention not outward, but downward, to the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree whose branches held the heavens, and whose roots drank from the places that even gods avoided. One root fed Mimir's well, a well not of water alone, but of memory, of truth, of things remembered by the world itself. It was said that the well remembered every mistake ever made, and every consequence yet to come. And it was guarded by Mimir, not a warrior, not a tyrant, but a keeper. because wisdom does not need force, only patience. Odin traveled alone, no army, no banners, no ceremony, a king who feared witness. When he reached the well, he did not admire it, he did not marvel, he already knew what it was. He asked for a drink. Mimir looked at him, not with reverence, but with recognition, as if he had been waiting. And the price was spoken plainly. One of your eyes. Not your blood, not your crown, not your life. Your eye, the thing with which you interpret the world. And the silence that followed was heavy, because Odin understood the meaning immediately. This was not payment for knowledge, this was proof of intent. To drink from the well was to accept that you would never see the world the same way again. And Odin could have turned back. He would still be king, he would still be worshipped, he would still be feared. Ignorance would have protected him. But Odin did not come for comfort, he came for truth. And truth always takes something with it. So Odin reached up and tore the eye from its socket. No miracle softened the act, no divine numbness dulled the pain. This was not a test. It was mutilation, a god breaking himself on purpose. Blood fell into the well, followed by the eye itself, which sank slowly as if the well were swallowing a memory. Only then did Mimir allow him to drink. And what Odin gained was not peace. He saw the ruins, not the symbols, but as forces that demanded sacrifice to Weld. He saw fate, not as a suggestion, but as a structure that was already built. He saw Ragnarok, not as a distant threat, but as a certainty moving steadily towards him. And worst of all, he understood that knowledge does not grant control. It only removes denial. When Odin rose from the well, he was one-eyed, not wounded, not diminished, but exposed. From that day forward, Odin would never rest. He wandered the realms disguised as an old man, testing warriors, tempting kings, destroying those who proved unworthy. Not out of cruelty, but out of desperation, because Odin knew something that the others did not, that war was coming whether they wanted it or not. Valhalla was not a reward, it was a recruitment center. In Herja were not heroes, they were resources. And Odin gathered them obsessively, because wisdom had shown him the end but offered no way out of it. This was the price that Odin paid, not the loss of an eye, but the loss of illusion. He could see the truth now, and it did not care that he was God. His missing eye did not make him wiser, not the way that poets imagine. It made him haunted, because once you see the shape of fate, you can't argue. You cannot pray it away, you cannot rule it into submission. You can only prepare. And so Odin rose with authority in one hand and inevitability in the other. One eye looking forward, one eye forever staring up from the depths of the well. A reminder to gods and now life that wisdom is not enlightenment, it is endurance. And knowledge is not saving, it only ensures that when it comes, you will recognize what you saw.
Record Moke. La Katrina. Mamar Brigitte. 3000 BCE. Region. Akan regions of West Africa. Event. Early Akan belief systems define death as a guided transition rather than a final ending. Meaning. Death is understood as movement between realms. It requires oversight and authority. Consequence. The foundation is established for Moke, later known as Amoki, as a guardian of souls. 2800 BCE. Region. Akan cultural sphere of West Africa. Event. Funerary customs emphasize judgment, order, and ritual preparation. Meaning. The dead are evaluated before entering the ancestral realm. Consequence: Moke becomes associated with moral accountability and spiritual law. 2500 BCE. Region: West Africa. Event: Death rituals incorporate symbolic barriers and thresholds. Meaning: Passage into the afterlife is conditional, not automatic. Consequence: Moke's role solidifies as guardian of the boundary between life and death. 2200 BCE. Region: Akan oral tradition. Event: Stories describe a female authority presiding over the dead. Meaning: Death governance is feminized and tied to balance rather than violence. Consequence: Moke is remembered as impartial, feared, and respected. 2000 BCE. Region: Akan societies of West Africa. Event: Death is framed as continued participation in community life. Meaning: Ancestors remain present and influential among the living. Consequence: Moke's authority expands from gatekeeper to regulator of ancestral continuity. 1800 BCE. Region: West African belief systems. Event: Death becomes associated with protection rather than punishment. Meaning: The afterlife is seen as refuge, not exile. Consequence: Moke's image shifts from fearsome enforcer to stabilizing force. 1500 BCE. Region: Akan regions of West Africa. Event: Offerings and moral preparation become central to burial rites. Meaning: Conduct in life affects status in death. Consequence: Moke becomes associated with ethical remembrance and judgment. 1000 BCE. Region: West Africa. Event: Ancestral reverence intensifies across multiple societies.